Operational thinking. The first level is the ground floor of the entire staircase. There's no shine, no prestige, no strategy here. It's the mind stuck in professional survival mode. Just tell me what to do, and I'll do it. This is where assistants, operators, early-stage interns live. People who don't see the whole picture yet, but keep the small pieces in place so it can exist. It's almost automatic thinking. Complete the task, clear the notification, finish the checklist, clock in, repeat. There's no deeper intention, no sense of consequences, no real understanding of impact. The focus is always on what's right in front of the face, never on what's happening around it. These are people who work the way others breathe, without noticing they're doing it, without asking why, just following the rhythm of the environment as if the world were a conveyor belt deciding their next step. Patrick Starr is a perfect mirror of this level, not because he's dumb, but because he lives in a constant state of unconscious execution, doing things simply because they were placed in front of him, because that's the natural flow, because that's the motion everyone else follows. He exists inside the task, not above it. This level isn't an insult, it's the beginning. Every mind starts like this, working, following, surviving the day until it builds enough awareness to see something bigger. Procedural thinking. On this second step, the mind learns how to follow the world, but still doesn't know how to shape it. This is where people operate like well-oiled gears, efficient, aligned, precise, but always inside a path someone else chose. It's the realm of assistants, technicians, junior analysts, people who understand the process, but not the intention behind it. They know the route, but they don't know the map. Procedural thinking is a mind tuned to external rhythm. Tell it what you need, it delivers. Change the method, it adapts. Remove the manual, and it freezes. This level traps entire careers because it rewards repetition, not understanding. This mind asks, what's the correct step? What's the standard procedure? Watching someone work at this level is like watching the factory workers in Modern Times by Chaplin. Quick hands, precise movements, endless repetition. Not out of lack of intelligence, but because their entire world fits inside the small cycle of the task. They operate, they deliver, they produce, but only as long as the track remains stable. Rapid solution thinking. This is the level where someone lives on the edge between skill and improvisation. The mind doesn't wait for a manual, doesn't ask permission, doesn't overthink. It simply solves. It's the world of mid-level analysts, corporate firefighters, the people called into the room only when everyone else is already panicking, and they walk in saying, okay, what's the problem? Give it here. This mind is fast, sometimes too fast. It sees the short-term escape route with impressive clarity, as if the solution was always there and only they could notice it. But it rarely sees beyond that. The internal dialogue is always, what can I do right now so this stops hurting? It's the type of thinking that fixes in 30 seconds what others can't fix in 30 days, but leaves trails that need cleaning later. Jake Peralta embodies this perfectly. Smart, creative, explosive, capable of solving impossible crises, but driven by urgency, living in the thrill of the moment, rarely focused on long-term consequences. It's not stupidity, it's speed, it's instinct, it's talent in a hurry. And many careers get stuck here forever because this level gives instant rewards, applause, gratitude, and that addictive feeling of being needed. Optimization thinking. At this level, a different kind of mind is born, not the one putting out fires, but the one realizing the fires always start in the same places. This is where senior analysts, coordinators, and technical managers operate. People who look at the entire process and think, this could run better. It's the moment someone stops solving problems and starts organizing chaos. The mind here is surgical. Less adrenaline, more precision. Less improvisation, more structure. Hermione Granger is a great reflection of this mindset, not because she's magically gifted, but because she has the instinct to transform messy environments into functional systems. She creates order where improvisation once lived. This mind constantly asks, how can this run better, longer, and with less effort? This is the level where a professional stops being common and starts becoming valuable. Diagnostic thinking. Here, the mind trades its flashlight for an X-ray. It doesn't react to the problem, it investigates it. It doesn't try to fix what appears, it tries to discover what caused it. It's the domain of managers, consultants, specialists. Diagnostic thinking dismantles situations like a clockmaker taking apart a watch, piece by piece, layer by layer, until it finds the exact cog where everything first went wrong. The key question changes. What's happening becomes what made this happen. Dr. House captures this mindset perfectly. He doesn't treat the fever. He treats the mechanism that created the fever. He's never fooled by symptoms. He hunts for the hidden architecture behind them. And at this level, people finally learn something uncomfortable. Most problems aren't technical. They're cultural, emotional, structural, political, human, invisible. This mind begins to see the world behind the world. Strategic thinking. At this level, the mind stops looking at tasks and begins looking at territories. This is where heads, directors, and high-level leaders live. People who must consider the side effects of everything. A decision, a delay, a shift in tone, a conversation timed incorrectly. Strategic thinking moves like this. What happens if I do this? What happens if I don't? Who moves when I move? Harvey Specter is a clear example of this mindset. Always prepared, always calculated, operating with hidden alternatives and parallel paths, ready to activate the moment the main plan changes. He doesn't improvise, he predicts. This mind sees scenarios, not tasks, impact, not activity, connections, not isolated actions. Architectural thinking. At this level, the mind doesn't improve processes, it creates structures. This is where the professional stops asking, how do I make this better? And starts asking, how should this be built if I could start from scratch? It's the level of executive directors, founders, and framework creators. The architectural mind looks at chaos and sees an entire system waiting to be born. Shigeru Miyamoto represents this beautifully. He didn't just create games, he created languages, structures, rules, entire ways of experiencing imaginary worlds that didn't exist before he built them. It's a mind that builds the house where ideas will live. Visionary thinking. The summit. Here, the mind abandons the present and begins a conversation with the possible. This is where high-impact founders, innovators, and world builders live. The question is no longer, how do we improve this? But, what future doesn't exist yet, and how do I lay the first brick of it right now? The visionary mind doesn't think in markets, it thinks in eras. It doesn't think in products, it thinks in destinies. It doesn't think in today, it thinks in legacy. Walt Disney embodies this level. He didn't imagine just entertainment. He imagined entire ecosystems of imagination that reshaped culture, technology, and fantasy. He saw worlds long before the world knew it wanted to see them. The visionary doesn't follow the road. He creates the road and creates the destination at the same time. See in the next video. Insomnia. Some prisons have no walls, only hours that refuse to end. In insomnia, the mind forgets how to surrender. The body begs for rest, but thought refuses to dim. Every shadow on the ceiling becomes a clock.